welcome to another episode of Dilemmas X Tarot. I am your host, Chelle, owner of sugarxtarot.com, and I am back with yet another stolen dilemma from Reddit. So this week's one is an interesting one. Let's call the person who is asking about their situation Stacy. All right, here we go. This is what Stacy has to say. My ex-husband divorced me 3 years ago. When we got married, we agreed that we weren't going to have kids. I never wanted them. He said he didn't really want them. So yeah, 4 years into our marriage, he changed his mind and he chose to divorce me because I wouldn't go back on our agreement and give him children. I'm not really a big believer in divorce. I was ready to be married for the rest of our lives. We had a good marriage, but I guess he didn't love me that much if he picked kids that didn't even exist over me. Right after our divorce, he almost instantly remarried. He got his new wife pregnant right away and they have 2 kids together. In the 3 years since then, I have finished my higher education and have accepted a high-paying job in healthcare. Life has actually been pretty good for me, and I've gotten to the point where I think I'm ready to start looking to settle down. Yesterday morning, my ex-husband showed up on my doorstep crying. I figured something pretty awful must have happened, so I let him in and got him a drink. He started going on and crying about how awful his life is. He apparently hates his 2 kids. One of them is disabled and maybe autistic, and he has no money due to the kid being so expensive. His wife yells at him all the time. She got fat after having kids and doesn't want to lose the weight. She never puts out. Also, he can never go anywhere anymore. He said that he wants a divorce from his new wife and he regrets ever leaving me. He asked if I would take him back and said he learned his lesson. I couldn't help but laugh at him. It was so pitiful. His audacity also kind of astounded me. I told him that with 2 kids to support and his lack of loyalty, he is not a catch, and I definitely won't take him back. And maybe this was karma for divorcing me. He was pissed, called me an arsehole, and said he thought I would be more supportive and would at least turn him down nicely. Am I the arsehole? So I'm going to share my opinion on this, and then we'll move on to the tarot side of things. So I don't know even where to start with this. Like, there's so much wrong here. Not talking about on Stacy's side, but on the ex-husband's side. Like, what the hell? I'm just trying to think, like, what was he expecting when he came to sit down and speak with Stacy? Like, what did he think was going to happen? But not only that, I'm just reading this and I'm thinking to myself, what kind of person is the ex-husband? So the ex-husband found someone else, got married real quick, got her pregnant with 2 children, and now he's complaining that she's overweight and she's not putting out and all of that. But I'm just thinking, if this happened over the space of a couple of years, she spent, just say 2 of them, being pregnant. So what did you want her to do? Just like pop out the kids and then get down to the gym? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand what this guy is thinking, like where his head is at. The poor woman hasn't even had a chance to even, I don't know, I don't want to say get back on track, but she hasn't had a chance to even think about, I don't feel, losing weight and stuff like that. She's busy looking after 2 small children. And I can't get over the fact that this ex-husband went running to his ex-wife whilst he's still married to first of all complain and then try to get her back. Like, what did he really think was going to happen? Like, I'm just so, I'm so confused. I feel like this guy is having some kind of, I don't know, meltdown or some kind of crisis, because it's all just like not making sense. And then they're moaning about, oh, you know, one of my kids might be autistic and they're so expensive and all of that. But look, when you have kids, you have to just roll with what happens. Like, you can't be there complaining, oh, my child's so expensive or whatever. Like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. You wanted kids, sir. Now you got the kids. I just think he's kind of away with the fairies. Like, I don't think he really thought that through when he was like, right, I'm going to go and speak to my ex-wife and win her back and all of that. Like, no, sir, it sounds like you're trying to abandon your wife and your children. And I'm just like, who does that? Like, that's not cool. So yeah, my thoughts on this is that Stacy definitely isn't the asshole, but I have some questions, and if you've been listening for the past few weeks, you know I'm kind of nosy. So I think we need to get into the tarot reading portion. So let's go. Okay, so I have a couple of questions that I want to answer, more on Stacey's side. So one would be, did she handle the situation correctly? Two would be, what else does she need to know about the whole entire situation? And three would be advice. So I'm going to shuffle my cards and just see what comes out in regards to those three questions. I know you might be expecting me to sing to you this week, but I'm sorry, you're going to be disappointed because I will not sing. I'm going to keep my mouth closed and just shuffle. Oh my God, this is so boring. Like, I can't just sit and shuffle. I just can't do it. I feel like I want to sing to you. Let's see what song pops into my head. I hate you so much right now. I hate you so much right now. Actually, I'm just thinking to myself, is that an appropriate song that just popped into my head? Because I feel like the ex-wife probably can't stand her ex-husband right now for a number of reasons. First of all, he left and then went and married somebody else. And then he's come back, the cheek of it, come back, and then he's like, oh, I'm sorry for what I did or whatever. Can I get you back? Like, no, sir. So I feel like that song popped into my head because of Stacy. Okay, so for the first question, I pulled Five of Pentacles. For the second question, I pulled the Knight of Cups. And for the third question, or the advice, should I say, I pulled Page of Cups. So, question one, did she handle the situation correctly? Five of Pentacles is telling me she might have been a little bit on the cold side. This is a card about like struggling, feeling isolated, feeling alone, not knowing where to turn and things like that. So, okay, she handled things in the way that felt right for her at the time. But I feel like tarot is trying to say sometimes people do go through things and they are looking for advice, support. Did the ex-husband have any right whatsoever to come back to Stacy and seek anything from her? No. I just feel like this card is saying she could have been a bit less cold in the sense that, you know, she laughed at him, but I feel like tarot is trying to say she could have handled things a little bit differently, maybe been slightly warmer, maybe tried to give him some advice like, you know, look, you need to talk to your wife, or you need to seek some kind of advice or support, or turn to your family and friends because I feel like you're going through something right now and, you know, I can't help you with it. I don't feel like I should or I need to. I think this card is just saying there's a lack of like warmness. And I know some of you might not agree because you might be like, look, you know, why does she need to be warm? Why does she need to do anything? And she doesn't. But I just feel like tarot is saying sometimes it's nice to be nice. So that's what I'm getting in regards to that. Question two, what else does she need to know about the situation? We've got the Knight of Cups. I feel like the ex-husband just got it into his head that all the answers to his problems lie with his ex-wife. This card has a character on a horse staring at a cup, so much so that they can't even see like what else is going on around them. Like they're so focused on this pink cup. So I feel like he is in a situation where he doesn't know what to do. He's very much unhappy. And he thought to himself, you know what? I was happy once with my ex-wife. I really was. And I made a mistake. I messed that up. And that is where I'm supposed to be. And so he got it into his head that I have to get her back. I have to go and talk to her. He didn't even wait to like get a divorce, you know, clean things up on his side. He was like, I have to go to her and I have to go now because she's going to make me feel better. That's where I need to be. I feel like I made a mistake. There's all these things going through his head. And I just feel like he was thinking, I've got to just go and get her back. Like I just have to the point where he can't even see what else is going on around him. He's not even seeing that he's acting in a really bad way. Like his behavior is terrible. I just feel like he can't see it. Actually, he's really realized what he had and what he's lost. So I feel like that is what Stacy needs to know. If we move on to advice, we've got the Page of Cups. So I feel like that is telling me that Stacy needs to consider not taking this whole thing too seriously. I feel like the fact that he popped up was a huge surprise, probably knocked her for six, and made her start thinking and maybe even feeling all kinds of things. But I feel like she needs to try and take a light-hearted approach to the situation. And when I say that, what I mean is that I don't feel like Stacy needs to let this whole situation, everything that went down, I don't feel like she needs to let that get to her or take her back to that place where she once was with her husband when they were going through that period of, going through divorce, or when she realized that he really does want kids and he's serious. Like, no, don't let what has happened take you back there. Stay in that place where you're feeling good, you're enjoying life, and you are focused on yourself, because she did mention that she wants to settle down and things like that. So stay in that happy place, in that place where you're excited about life and finding emotional fulfillment for yourself. Okay, so I thought that I would look at the ex-husband's side of things. So what on earth is going on with him? I feel like we know a little bit, but I want to dig a bit deeper. I also want to look at his wife, what's going on with her, and then get some advice for the ex-husband, because I feel like he's going through some things. But anyway, I'm going to shuffle again and then we'll see what comes up. Okay, so sorry if you heard a dog barking in the background. There's a dog outside making noise, but we're not going to stop recording. You know what I mean? We still got to keep on keeping on. So question 1, I've got the 9 of Swords. Question 2, I've got the 3 of Wands. Question 3, I've got the King of Pentacles. So what is going on with the ex-husband? We've got the 9 of Swords. The ex-husband does not know what to do. Really? Why? Today's just been a day. The dog is being the enemy of progress. All right, I'm just going to continue because we can't let this dog stop me. I love animals, but you're making too much noise, dog. Anyway, what is going on with the husband? We have the 9 of Swords. I feel like the husband is in a very bad place. You all can't see the card, but the background is black and it's got 9 swords and there's a person sitting in a bed with their hands over their face. So I just feel like he's going through anxiety, maybe some depression, a lot of overthinking, negative thinking. He is just in a very, very, very bad place. I feel like mentally he's struggling. Looking at this card now, I actually do feel for him in a way. I don't like his action, so I don't like the fact that he ran to his ex-wife while still being married and is moaning about his children and stuff like that. No, I don't like that, but I feel like he's going through something. So I do kind of feel bad for him, but hopefully he can get the help that he needs and do right by his wife. And even if he doesn't want to be with the wife anymore, he needs to do right by his children. So yeah, that's not looking good. But anyway, let's look at what is going on with his poor wife. So we've got the 3 of Wands. Now, I feel that his current wife is in a period of reflection and feels very distant from her husband and is trying to figure out what she should do. So he's talking about how he wants to divorce her, but I feel like she might be thinking she wants out too. I feel like she wants something different. So that's the kind of vibe I'm getting. I feel like she's really thinking about like what has happened, what she wants, how she's going to get what she wants, what's the right thing to do. And I just feel like she's trying to figure out what her next move should be. So yeah, let's move on to advice for the husband. We've got the King of Pentacles. I really just feel like the advice is the husband needs to get himself to a point where he feels more stable. And that means mentally, I think he needs to try and feel better physically. And also because it's a Pentacles card, he needs to look at his finances. I feel like that's actually a big thing, and that would help him feel a lot better and be able to do right by his children and his wife as well, if he plans to stay with her or not. But he needs to get his money right as well. So he needs to get to the point where he is in that King of Pentacles energy, where you're comfortable, you're confident, you're stable, you know what you're doing, and he doesn't have all this mental anguish and stuff going on, and he's able to pay for things. He can look after his children. He can pay whatever he has to pay if he gets a divorce to his wife, or he can do things for the family that maybe he can't do now should he stay with his wife, and so on. So that's what I'm getting in regards to that. He needs to try and get himself to a point where he's just more stable, whether that means therapy or, pursuing a new career path or a new job that pays more or starting a business or something. He just needs to get himself to a point where he's in a better position, basically, is what I'm getting. So overall, this is kind of a sad situation now that I've done a reading on it and I've kind of dug a little bit deeper into what's going on with the ex-husband. But I do feel like Stacy still is not the arsehole, because at the end of the day, her ex-husband did leave her, he did hurt her. And even though, yes, Tarot is saying she could have been a bit warmer, the fact is her ex-husband is not her problem. Anyway, just want to remind you that if you have your own dilemmas, you can email them to me and I will give my opinion on them and do tarot readings on them. You can send an email to dilemmas@sugarxtarot.com. You can also get a personal reading on my website, www.sugarxtarot.com. There you will also find a link to my weekly What the Universe Wants You to Know messages for the collective and each zodiac sign. Right, I hope you all have an amazing day, an amazing week ahead, and I will be back next week with more dilemmas. Okay, bye!